Has everybody been following the Mr. Potato Head situation?
Yes.
Yes.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Closely. I've been monitoring.
He's the new GameStop. Yeah.
I've been following the situation in the war room. The potato head.
I have an agent in the situation currently.
So for people listening that don't know, last week the Hasbro company announced a gender-neutral rebranding of the toy line featuring a new Potato Head logo and an expanded playset, which would include 2 large potatoes and a small potato that people can attach whatever they want to. And that's it. Like, that's the whole story. Is like they put out a family set where they're like, hey, make it 2 dad potatoes, 2 mom potatoes, do whatever you want. And
make
of course,
baked potatoes, whatever you need. We're here for you, Nick.
and of
Just
course,
don't come to the realization that you could stick things into these potatoes and not buy our product.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, people are like mad about it because it's like the loony liberals are going crazy, making potatoes genderless.
They took away the butter lady and now the potato man.
I mean, keep in mind, there was definitely a movement at some point where people are like, you cannot turn a potato into a person. And now those people are like, a potato's a man. A potato's a boy.
Well, like the funniest thing about it is that like nothing demonstrates gender as being a social construct like Mr. Potato Head, because fresh out of the box, Potato Head is a formless being covered in a series of holes. And it only becomes gendered based on what the child attaches to it.
There is a Mrs. Potato Head.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that they just sell it as like Mr. and or Mrs. Like you just buy one and then you can just do whatever you want.
It's like they're just going to attribute this stuff to other stuff you forgot existed. It's like, what's next? Like, I think Pac-Man?
I think that's what it is. I think it might be a marketing decision.
Yeah.
Like, you might be like, Boy Twister next week and be like, what? And they're like, for boys. Like, what? They're just like trying to find a new market because they're like, we're Twister. We basically have the same sales every year for whatever reason.
Since 1932.
This is Mr. Twister.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I found out that was interesting is that Mr. Potato Head started off as just the pieces. They literally, after World War II, they were like, hey, get a potato and then stick things into a real potato. Like, it wasn't until years later that they made the potato plastic.
I swear to God, I only remember it being a real potato. I wasn't a potato head, but that's what I remember. I remember using actually, maybe I remember both, but I do remember at one point, I think my parents were English. So they probably had no clue what they were doing and probably just gave me a real potato. But I do remember putting, pieces in the potato.
Yeah.
And it was an English family, so there were a lot of potatoes.
Well,
it was all potatoes. My father's name was Mr. Potato.
Well, and one of the things is like it was sort of controversial when it first came out because all of the adults who were buying this stuff were all still in that like World War II, we have to save as much as we can mindset. So Mr. Potato Head, in addition to, as I argued, being a gender fluid icon in toy history, also represents a time of prosperity because it was like, hey, we don't have to send potatoes over to the Western Front anymore. We can have our kids fucking sticking hats on them and stuff. So
but it was probably also like, when times got bad again, the next time things got dark, it was time to let you know that you're gonna have to take the ears, the hat, the lips off because we need sustenance.
Son, we need that potato.
Son, unfortunately, we're gonna have to eat Mr. Potato Head.
No, Papa, but I love him.
Stop calling him a him. We're not sure what it is, but we're eating it. It's a potato. We're having it. Now, how do you want him? Fried? How about we make Mr. Potato Skins? Does that make you feel better?
What if the people who are resenting this are just huge Don Rickles fans?
Good point. Yeah.
That's true. He's not here. Yeah.
Toy Story. Yeah. I did want to see what the people were saying, so I went to a place where everybody knows my name, WSFA NBC 12, Montgomery, Alabama's news leader Facebook group. I truly think the only thing that's good about Facebook is moves like what you just pulled. I think it's the only thing that's good. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to just, hey, it's gonna be there. The gold mine is calling my name, so I might as well
just buy a ticket.
So this is the reaction to the Mr. Potato Head story. This first up.
I'm gonna guess that people are taking it really well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
And by the way, I love this name, Dorcas Andrews. Now I'm not sure.
Is that his Christian name or?
It's spelled Dorcas. Dorcas.
We just did an episode and someone was named Dorcas.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's. Oh my god, what was that? I
don't have any fucking clue.
I remember hearing that one.
Month.
Yeah.
So maybe it's real.
Is that a name? It's a real name.
It sounds like what like a kid would call a wizard. Like it doesn't seem real, but then apparently people are like, Dorcas still works.
I think Child Protective Services needs to get involved at the hospital, at the site of the birth, if you name your child Dorcas.
Yeah, train the nurses. Dorcas. No. That's your other option. Well, we really like Dorcas. Not okay, no. So.
What about Dorcasaurus?
Sir, you're not pitching for the rest of the day. Ma'am, you have 2 left.
Dork face.
Ma'am, I'm going to warn you. This is a warning. We're not naming this baby today with one more bad pitch. So you guys can have it overnight and think about it if you want. This is like entering your Bitcoin password. We're gonna lock you out for 24 hours if you keep trying.
So Dorcas Andrews says,
Andrews, just have a Mr. Andrews, Dorcas. Let's just get to it.
Well, that's one toy I can cross off my granddaughter's Christmas list. And
he is a Dorcas.
Well, and I was just like, when's the last time people were given Mr. Potato Heads as gifts? Like,
if I gave like my niece or nephew a Mr. Potato Head, even in the appropriate age range, it would just be like, why don't you just put this plastic in a bird's stomach already?
Yeah, you would become Uncle Dorcas in that case.
Yeah. If I gave it to my cousin, if I gave it to my cousin's kids, my cousin would look at me like, "What fucking trash can did you pull this out of?"
Are you meth? Are you on meth? What are you doing? You gave him Mr. Potato Head. You're all sweaty. What are you doing? I just thought the kids would like to, put some gender in carbohydrates. I don't know. Am I crazy?
Dude, it does.
These are better because you can make them whatever you want. They're all interchangeable.
Well, and also giving Mr. Potato Head as a gift does just scream like divorced dad forgot he had the kids for the weekend and has 15 minutes. Is like, shit, is CVS open? Like,
you're at CVS going, do you have any, sorry, I'm late cards?
Yeah. Yeah, the Mr. Potato Head move is.
I was gonna get you a gift card, but I don't trust the internet, so I have a Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head and some slippers from a bargain bin. They're a little big for you, but you're growing. No, I'm not. Oh, no, this is awkward.
You want to have a beer with your uncle? Hey,
how about a Mr. Beer?
Yeah.
There you go. Look at his mouth. Dad's gonna kiss him.
Yeah, if you're buying a Mr. Potato Head, you are also going too fast and accidentally jumping the curb and parking the car in the front yard at your baby mama's house.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I'm so sorry.
A year ago, if you had tried to check out with a Mr. Potato Head, they just go, sir, you don't have to pay for this. Nobody will notice. Nobody will give a shit. We shouldn't have them on the shelves. Here you go. Here's a Depression-era toy.
This is Maria Hunter Bandy, which I can't read that name without thinking, I drink the blood of lamb from Bandy's tract. But Marie Hunter Bandy says, y'all just going too damn far with this crap. If the toy was born Mr. Potato Head, let it be.
What? No, this person cannot. This is Sacha Baron Cohen. That cannot have actually born.
That's what it says. If the toy was born Mr. Potato Head, let it be. Come out with new brands if you choose.
This is now stepping into like abortion. This carves so many holes in abortion policy too. It's like, what are you?
They think that every toy is birthed the way Cabbage Patch Kids are. They do that weird shit at the factory.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that one just blew my mind.
What do you call the wet nurse for Mr. Potato Head?
At what point does potatoes' lives begin? I think is the question. Potato Head has a heartbeat after 1 week.
Yeah. Wow.
This is one that Tina Schwartz says, will always be Mr. Potato Head to me. This is ridiculous.
It's amazing. It's amazing what we give people the leash to give a fuck about.
Right.
This is so much. This is the Aunt Jemima thing. This is the Land O'Lakes where it was like, Aunt Jemima's been with me my whole life. And I'm like, you don't think about pancakes this much. And this is even
my whole empty life. All my products have been staring at me.
Well, and it's also the same. It's also the same as people when they are like, what's in the vaccine? It's like, when was the last time you asked what was in anything?
Right.
Yeah, like
literally. I've seen what you're eating. I know what you're drinking. I know what you're doing. Like, fuck off. Like, I've never bought a bottle of like whiskey and been like, and walk me through the process. You know, you just ingest it. It's being sold. Someone said it was okay, and so you have it. That's how it works.
So this is going to give me headaches and make me feel mildly upset tomorrow. No, I'm not doing it.
Side effects: you will cry to your ex-wife. Huh? Yeah. You ain't gonna microchip me though, are you?
I got two more. One of them is this is hilarious because this person who's just been token up and they don't give a fuck no more. Tanya Berry just says, "Hey, what about Mrs. Pothead?"
Oh shit!
Cool.
Who is this for? These comments are. It's just like, why?
Oh,
What I would love to have them in an MRI for just to study their brain pattern for when this is like just to have a professional be like, see, in their minds this was an enormous moment. And be like, wow.
And then 5 hours later when they check it, it's like to one like to how about Mrs. Pothead?
Oh, she's getting a dopamine hit off of that. Look at her. She's loving that. Look at that whole frontal lobe is lighting up over this.
And then the last one here, Tom Ogletree said, and this is such a kind of a bummer, shaking my head. Oh, well, maybe Jesus will return soon.
Oh, Jesus.
So as we know, behold, a potato head upon a horse, a pale rider. This is...
You know what we should start doing? We should start a campaign where we are saying, if Jesus comes back, we want him to be gender neutral. And just...
He's Jesse. He's Jesse.
Exactly.
Jesse
and just in this hypothetical bubble that I can never penetrate because I don't care to fathom it. Just be like, hey, so when it does happen, we're also gonna fuck with it. Just so you know.
Yeah, it's Jesse Christ. It's up to you how you spell Jesse.
I mean, just to make some heads explode.
I mean, the world being consumed with disease and like governments being overturned and everything, but like the Mr. Potato Head is probably the last straw, and like, you know, and next comes locusts and frogs and shit.
Yeah, you know what? It probably is true. Right now, Jesus is just like doing this to his shirt cufflinks, just like adjusting them. Like, there we go. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm almost out the door. Just got to go through the checklist of what is left to do.
Yeah, in the book it describes.
He takes holy water and he like sprays it in the air and like walks into it. To just a hint.
Where are you going? I'm going out. I told you. Okay.
Yeah, he puts the holy water on his wrists and clacks them together and then goes on the neck. Perfect.
Can't wait to get down there.
It's like, hey, my book talks about signs and symbols, and I'll be damned. This gender-neutral potato, that's right there. John the Revelator. He was saying this shit during the reign of Nero.
Oh, you could definitely find a Bible passage that sort of fits it. And they said that tuber is for eating. Not for disguising.
Yeah.